Race to redevelop the area around the former Rockford Speedway is underway, with businesses starting construction as soon as this week. Loves Park Mayor Greg Jury tells WIFR reporter Sydney Stoffregan that being business friendly is what the city with a heart is all about.
We'll be able to point to places around the country and say, yeah, that was from Rockford Speedway.
Without the roar of race cars, the former Rockford Speedway site sits idly by, waiting for something to bring the 50-acre lot back to life. The club car wash and Bell Tire will soon fill some of the space, but Loves Park Mayor Greg Jury says that's just the beginning.
Riverside on our side is full now. It's either filled with businesses that are built or businesses that have bought the locations and getting ready to build. We're very happy with that. And now we're taking this area as our next challenge.
The property itself is not the only thing being redeveloped. Tom Deary, whose family owned the Speedway, explains pieces of the stadium are en route to racetracks and fairgrounds around the country.
Everything that was there, we all had our hands on at one time or another. And now to see it put back into use at another facility somewhere, it went to different types of businesses in the state line area as well. That just makes you feel good.
Well, Jury says some people shared disappointment about the Speedway leaving. Others express hope about new opportunities coming their way.
Bring in businesses that have ability to attract other people to come into the community that'll also benefit the people in our community.
In Loves Park, Sydney Stoffregan, WIFR News.
Within the property, Deary plans to install Speedway Park, a memorial to the stadium that sat there for 76 years.